right, welcome back, everyone, for another AI Brief Deep Dive.
Deep dive, yeah.
I'm Amin.
And I'm Leah.
And today, we're going to be looking at a collection of really, really interesting developments in AI, kind of from all different sides.
All over the place, yeah. From the financial side of things to even chips.
Chips.
Yeah.
AI chips. So let's jump right into it. One of the things that we were looking at was this idea that Microsoft and OpenAI are now kind of defining AGI success based on financial success. So like
profitability.
Yeah. $100 billion in profit is what they're aiming for.
That's the benchmark.
So what do you think about that? Like as a benchmark for AGI? Like is that even a realistic thing to be aiming for?
It's interesting because it seems like now that we've got these really impressive AI models coming out, the focus is shifting a little bit from pure technological, like, can we do it,
right,
to how can we actually use it in the real world and make money from it.
Yeah.
So it kind of feels like a sign that AI is maturing.
That it's becoming more of a
commercial thing.
Yeah.
Rather than just a
research project.
Yeah, this research project, exactly.
Do you think that could be a bad thing though?
Yeah.
Because I feel like if you're only focused on profits, then maybe you're not.
You might miss out on.
Yeah, you might miss out on some of the other.
Yeah, some of the more fundamental research or
Sure.
the kind of research that might not have immediate commercial applications.
Yeah. I guess it kind of depends on like how much like freedom these companies give their researchers to kind of explore other
different avenues.
Yeah. So that'll be interesting to keep an eye on.
Definitely.
Another thing we were looking at was these AI agents that people are saying 2025 is going to be the year of the AI agent.
Yeah, the year of, it's a bold claim, isn't it?
Yeah. So for people who maybe aren't familiar with this concept, like what are these AI agents and how would they impact our lives?
So the way I like to think about them is they're kind of like supercharged personal assistants, right?
Okay.
So instead of just like setting reminders or playing music, these agents can actually interact with all sorts of different apps and services.
Okay.
So you could imagine an agent that can go through your emails.
Oh, wow.
Pull out important information, maybe book a flight for you.
Really?
Based on your travel preferences, things like that.
Okay.
Some people are even saying they could act as like IT support.
That'd be nice.
Right, if you're having computer problems.
Yeah.
So the idea is that they can really take care of a lot of these tasks that we currently do manually and free up our time and energy for other things.
I mean, that sounds amazing, but like, is it realistic?
I think the full potential of AI agents is probably still a little way off.
Okay.
But we're starting to see some early examples. Like there are already agents that can pull data from emails and do some basic things like booking flights.
Okay, so it's not totally science fiction yet.
No, it's starting to become real.
It's starting to become real.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Exciting times.
Okay. Another thing we were looking at, kind of on the hardware side of things, was this article about SoftBank's founder.
Masayoshi-san.
Yeah. Apparently he wants to develop his own AI chip.
His own chip. Yeah.
So what's the big deal about that, and like why is he doing that?
So AI chips are basically the brains of AI, right?
Yeah.
They provide the computing power that you need to train and run these massive AI models. And right now, NVIDIA is kind of the king of the hill when it comes to AI chips.
Right.
But Sun is known for investing in disruptive technologies.
Yeah.
And he seems to think that there's an opportunity to challenge NVIDIA's dominance.
Okay.
And I think it's a sign that the demand for AI chips is just going to keep exploding as AI becomes more and more pervasive.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out.
Okay. Another article we were looking at got a little bit technical. I was talking about these logic gate AI networks.
Yeah.
And these are supposed to be like way more energy efficient.
Much more efficient.
But I had a little bit of trouble kind of wrapping my head around like what that actually means.
Yeah, it is a bit of an abstract concept.
Yeah.
So imagine you have an AI that's trying to identify an image, right?
Okay.
So let's say it's looking at a picture and it's trying to figure out if it's a cat.
Right.
A traditional AI model might use a very general purpose network that needs a lot of processing power to analyze the image. But A logic gate AI network is kind of like a specialized network
Hmm.
that's designed specifically for that task.
So it's like if you had a specific tool
Exactly.
for like.
It's like a screwdriver versus a Swiss Army knife.
Okay.
The Swiss Army knife can do a lot of things,
Right.
but the screwdriver is much more efficient if you just need to turn a screw.
Okay. Right.
So these logic gate networks can achieve the same result using much less energy
Okay.
because they're optimized for that particular task.
So what kind of impact could that have on how we use AI in the future?
Well, I think the big potential is that it could allow us to integrate AI into all sorts of everyday devices
Hmm.
without having to worry about battery life.
Oh.
So imagine like a smartphone that can understand your voice commands really well,
Oh.
or a smart home that can actually adapt to your needs.
Yeah.
Even wearable devices that can monitor your health,
Mm-hmm.
but don't need to be charged all the time.
Right.
So it's all about making AI more practical
Yeah.
and more accessible by reducing the energy consumption.
Okay, cool. One last thing we wanted to touch on was this whole thing about how Europe's AI scene is kind of booming right now.
Yeah, it's really interesting to see.
Yeah.
I think for a while, people thought that Europe was kind of lagging behind in the
Yeah.
AI race, but it seems like they're really catching up.
Yeah.
And one of the things that's driving this is that European AI startups are attracting a lot of venture capital funding.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of investment going into the sector.
Okay.
And we're also seeing a huge increase in AI related employment.
Okay.
So the industry is growing really rapidly.
So what does that tell us about like the global AI race? Like, is Europe a contender now?
I think it's definitely becoming a major player.
Yeah.
And I think they have some unique strengths. You know, they have a strong focus on data privacy and ethical considerations,
Okay.
which I think is going to become increasingly important
Yeah.
as AI develops.
Okay. So it'll be interesting to see
How that all unfolds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this was
A whirlwind tour.
this was a really interesting deep dive, I feel like.
It was a lot to cover, but
Yeah.
really fascinating stuff.
Yeah. I mean, we talked about AGI being defined by profit and
AI agents taking over the world.
yeah, maybe not taking over the world, but
Not yet.
not yet. But they're getting there.
They're getting there.
The race for these super powerful AI chips in Europe, kind of.
Emerging as a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah. So, I mean, what do you think? What do you think the next, I don't know, 5 to 10 years hold for AI?
I honestly think we're just scratching the surface.
Yeah.
With all these advancements happening at the same time, it's really hard to predict where things are going to go.
Yeah.
But I have a feeling it's going to be pretty amazing.
Yeah. Well, that's a good note to end on.
Yeah.
As always, thanks for joining us for another AI brief deep dive.
Deep.
Make sure to follow us for more deep dives into the world of AI.
Yeah, and don't forget to share this episode with anyone who might be interested.
Exactly. All right.
Until next time.
See you.